Hey guys, it's me Kate again. So this video is all about my favorite books of the year. There's not a lot of them. I think that the last two were read in the beginning of November, if my memory serves me right. Which, if we base it on the video that I posted just before that I filmed actually right before this one, it's not because I couldn't read my handwriting. I couldn't remember what I wrote down, even though I should have. Not because I wrote down these lists recently. I wrote them down like a month, at least 3 weeks ago, but because it's not really really hard name to remember, so. And the same name was literally in line about that one, so I won't be talking about what these books are about, mostly because I don't have a good number of them, I think. And actually I might because apparently 7 of these books are in the same series, so that might save me some time, but none of them are out as far as I can see. So first we have Soul of the Sword and the Night of the Dragon by Julie Kagawa, which are the second and third books, if I remember correctly, in a series. I don't remember the series name, but I know that we're following a girl whose life has been preparing to become a vessel for a god. So one day she meets this all happening in, I think, Japan. At least it is Japanese inspired. So, and then one day she meets Kitsune, and not everything she thought she knew about the world is actually that way. So I read that first book. It might have been 2020. Don't quote me on that, because I think it was when we had school online in 2020 that I listened to the audiobook of that book. And that's all that I remember of the plot of the first one, because second and third book are, even though at this point I read them about a year ago, are pretty much removed from that. At least I remember the third one has nothing to do with the first one plot-wise, because they at least major, like, of course, plot, there is continuation of the plot of the previous books, but it's not like the premise of the first book goes through all three. So then we have this Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn, which is sequel to Legendborn, and if I remember correctly from the first book. So we're following a girl whose mother dies, and then because she wants to escape her life, she applies for this college program for high schoolers, where she witnesses a magical attack, and that leads her into this world where descendants of Arthur and Knights of the King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table are real. So of course Blood Marked is continuation of the story, but it's a sequel. And then we have Tokyo Dreaming by Amiko Jean. Again, another sequel, and in first one, which I don't remember the name of, we're following a girl who discovers that her father is Crown Prince of Japan, goes from there. It's as far as I remember, the first one was pitched as Princess Diaries meets Crazy Rich Asians. I never read or watched the movie Crazy Rich Asians, but I did read the first two Princess Diaries books and watched the two movies. Actually, I think I saw first movie more times than the second one, if my memory serves me correctly. Then, remember, as I said, that 7 of these books were in the same series. Well, I read Death Note volumes 1 through 7 by Tsugumi Okubo and Takeshi Obata. In that, if you don't know what Death Note is about, it's about the guy who finds a notebook in which, if you write down a person's name after some time, they will pass away, they will have a heart attack and die. But you also, with their name, you can specify the way and time of death, where death. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that, but and stuff goes from there. Let's just say that first couple of volumes I liked slightly more, but I like the characters and everything. So, because this is not a spoiler, but in Death Note, I don't remember how. I never watched the anime, so I cannot tell you how much is different from manga. But in manga, in one part, I was slightly confused because of something that happened in between the volumes, basically. And only later on you find out what it is, and then it makes sense. But you go from one volume which follows the story up to that point. Then in the next volume I felt like I missed something. And first I thought that I completely missed a volume. It turns out that I didn't. That really something kind of happened in between volumes, or if I remember correctly, it might have been that I was so tired that I forgot that I read it the first time in an earlier volume. Because I read Death Note basically after I got home from college, and at one point it was so basically backstory up. I came on Thursdays. I would come to home at like 5:30. 5:30, no, closer to 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. And at that point my brain wasn't working, and all I did was read manga. And it might have been that I read that earlier and I just forgot it. Then we have Amari and the Great Game by B.P. Austin. Is it? No, it's not here. I don't know where half of my books are because I rearranged my bookshelves and I don't remember where anything is. Only that manga is on manga is on the shelf I cannot access because I'm short, so it's one of the top shelves, so I cannot access it. So in Amari and the Great Game is also a sequel in which are and that series of following Amari, whose brother has gone missing, and she's still holding hope that he's alive, until the one point where while she's going through his closet, her brother's closet, not her own, her brother's, she finds a briefcase addressed to her that invites her to Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, and she decides to go there to see if she can find out what happened to her father. Then we have Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake, which is sequel to Atlas 6, in which are following 6 people who all have been invited to this secret society where basically all of the knowledge of Library of Alexandria is still stored. And mind you, the original Library of Alexandria that was destroyed. And they will be there for a year, and only 5 of them can continue on. So, and what's happened there, and you follow them there. Then we have Bright by Jessica Young, which is sequel to Shine, in which are following a girl, Rachel Kim, who is a K-pop genie, and if her label doesn't debut her, then they probably never will. And one day, when an opportunity presents itself for her to sing with her label's Golden Boy, she decides to take it. And stuff goes from there. And I'm skipping this one. Like, when I was compiling this list, mind me tell you that I wrote literally everything that I put as favorite on my spreadsheet, and I have to go through the spreadsheet again because some of these things I don't specifically because of some reasons I want to be talking about here, because some of these things are weird that I label them as favorites. So mostly because of I don't remember much about them. So this is what happens when you read something, let's say in January, and at the beginning of January, and then at the end of December you try to figure out what was it that you read. So then we have Jujutsu Kaisen Volumes 0 and 1 by Kage Akutami, in which are following a class of people trying to get the world rid of curses, and it's ridiculous to no end. At one point I think they even got to fight about what they're going to eat. So then we have Fourth Wing and Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I liked both of them. Is Fourth Wing so in Fourth Wing we're following Violet Sorendale, who all her life wants to become scribe, but when her father dies, her mother decides to make her be a dragon rider. But the thing is, Violet isn't the person you would expect to be a dragon rider, and of course shit goes down. So when it comes to Iron Flame, the sequel, I actually really enjoyed it. So let me say, quick context of that. So this day, and I was listening to it, because I listened it to Iron Flame in 1 or 2 days. We had something to do for college each. Yeah, this was towards the middle of November. So it has been like a week since I got the audiobook for that on Audible. That was so basically one of our professors. Sorry, the sun is coming down and my room is facing the way the part where my room is on its way. So this happens if I go there. So basically we were going that day. Our professor was like, no, you won't have a lecture today, let's go to something that was happening, like I have to be there and I probably won't make it to the lecture, so you just coming with me. We're okay, like we won't say no to missing the lecture, which we didn't even want to go on, so we went there. And basically we were there for, like, I was at one point we separated and I was there for like an hour, maybe more, I don't remember. So after we separated, and I was like, should I go home or should I go back to college for the final lecture of the day that I had? I was like, and because at this point I'm standing at the tram station, and basically he had to go with the tram to one station, and when I get to that station I have to either go to another tram to college or the other one to go to the train and go home. And I'm thinking, do I go to college or do I go home? Because at that station that I was going to, both tram that goes to my college stops and the train with which I have to get to train station stops. I was like, I'm going to go home. I get to the train station. I still, even if I still have time to get to the next lecture, but at this point, I'm worried. I'm just going home. I'm listening to the Iron Flame in the entire time that I'm debating that in my head. Mind you, this was over like a good portion of half an hour, so if I remember what happened, like for a good portion of the book, no, I do not. Because I was thinking, should I go home or not? So, if you ask me, what are my thoughts on Iron Flame? Good portion of that I could not tell you. So it goes to the favorites list by just from the fact that when I was reading it, I was like, girl, you were spaced out for like a portion of that book. Give it just a high rating and make it your favorite, because it probably would have if I didn't space out in the middle of it. Then we have Hall of Books, Hunt for Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend, which started book in what is it called? Nevermore series, in which we are following Morgan, who is a cursed child, which means that on her 11th birthday she is destined to die. Mind you, when the children turn 11 in her hometown, they get bid on by different people to become their interns, and Jupiter North takes Morgan to and I think Nevermore is the name of the city, but I don't remember at this point. And there she is entered into this competition to become part of Vanger's society, which is ridiculous. And yes, this is it. What I'll be talking about in this video, because I have 2 more books that got on my favorites list after this that I read and listened to in November. But the thing is, when it comes to those 2 books, like, how much is me actually remembering that I listened to them, and how much is it that I actually enjoy them? That's the problem, because all I can remember about those 2 books that I was waiting on the train station while listening to one of them. that tells you something. That's it for this video. If you like, please like, share, and subscribe. Down below, comment social media, my email, and some other stuff, and I'll see you next one.